In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most graceful, the topic that we discussed with class 4 on 22nd July, what is a food chain and what's in a food chain. So let's read first what is on your screen. A food chain. What is a food chain? A food chain is the path by which energy passes from one living thing to another. Or a food chain will help you to understand how each organism depend on each other, how they depends on each other. An ecosystem shows many kind of interaction between its components. The most important of these are the following relationship of various organisms. You can see in the picture below, from the sun to the hawk there, you can see that a chain has been formed based on who eats what. A food chain shows how each organism in the ecosystem gets its food. One or more such chain are formed in all ecosystems and are called as food chain. So this is a food chain, and it's just a simplified way to look at the energy that passes from producers to consumer. Now these terms, producers and consumer, what are they? We'll talk about it after this picture. So if you see there's a grass, then this grass is eaten by the grasshopper is eaten by the bluebird, and then this bluebird is eaten by the snake is eaten by the owl. When the owl dies, the body of the dead body of this owl is then decomposed or broken down or spoiled by these decomposers. We'll also talk about the decomposers in another session, but right now we're just going to see what makes the food chain. So number one is the producers that are the one that can make their own food. All the plants, they can make their own food by using sunlight and by a process of photosynthesis where they can make their own food. Since plants produce their food, they are called producers. They are the bottom of any food chain, and they use energy from the sun to make food. So all the plants, all the vegetable fruits come under the category of producers. The second is consumers. Consumers hunt, gather and store food because they cannot make their own food. This is the next link in the chain, and they are the consumers. They consume food. There are types of consumer. We'll also talk about that in another session. Then the third one that is making the chain is the decomposer. Decomposers are the one that feed on the remains of other animals. They play an important part in the ecosystem. By digesting dead matter, they put nutrients back into the soil, making them available to the producer. Did you ever think what happens to the animal and plants that die? Have you ever thought about that? For keeping the world clean, Allah has created special organisms that help dead organisms decompose. They break them down into simpler components and return the important components back to the soil. These nutrients are then used again by the producers to make food. This is how this chain works. Some kind of decomposers are bacteria, fungi, and earthworm. These are the decomposers: earthworm, mushroom, insects, bacteria and fungi also. So this is it for this video today. Allah Hafiz.